Glow Teams, a staff guide, using files and assignments. When you log into your Teams using the instructions on the previous video, you will likely see a screen similar to mine. It may differ a little as I have different channels, I have different teams, and I only have one pupil in my group. So let's have a look at how we're going to use all the individual parts, apart from class notebook, which we will come back to in a later video. So straight away, we can notice that down here we have opportunity to start a new conversation. This is perfect for pupils to ask you as a class teacher questions, but it is all completely public to this team. So for example, if I was to ask Josh a question, anyone else in the team would be able to see it. So one way to make sure you're directing it at the right person is using your @ sign. So I am just going to ask Mrs. Irvin a question just now. Can you tell me when this work should be completed? Of course, Josh can also come in and have some questions, and as you can see, we've had a wee practice. He's been telling me some bits and pieces of what he's been doing. And I've even got a hi from all the class. That's lovely. Now, we've got some posts here, and this part here is really ideal for sharing ideas. But if you don't wish to go any further, you can add and attach items just down here in the conversation from your own computer and OneDrive that pupils might be able to use. So if you don't feel confident in this next step, don't worry, because all of this is down here too. But let's look a little at files so you can see how to upload. Now, the good news is that it's very similar to your computer at home or your phone, or if you are quite a frequent user of the OneDrive, it's almost identical. So as you can see, we've got some folders set up. If you want to set up a new folder, perhaps just for one pupil, then we can add it in here. You can set up a folder for lots of learning resources, might be a number square, times tables, things that pupils might need to use, you can upload here. The pupils can also upload their items, which is why we have a folder called Josh's Learning. And look, it's been opened by Josh. So he's uploaded a folder and he's going to add in his own items. So in this folder, you'll find all of the items that Josh has been using for his learning. He's created an art activity. I can see that's a JPEG. So all he's done is take a photo of his art activity. When we go back to general, we have some other folders here that I've made up, a training folder for people, class materials. If I want to make a new folder, very similar to computers, I can choose new folder here, and I'm just going to call this maths. Okay, and it's appeared. Now, if I want to upload some files, I don't need to, but I'm going to choose a folder. I've chosen my maths folder here, and I'm just going to upload the way that I would in OneDrive. I think I will upload some Rockstar times tables. Oh, Mrs. Irvin's replied to me. You can see a wee notification there happening. So isn't that wonderful? You'll get that notification when you're online, and it will also appear if you have the app. So we've got a JPEG right now, and we also have the option to then go back to all of our other documents, and you can see that the maths one is flashing. There's something added to that. Now you can copy the link to any folder and share that if you want people to go directly into it. So if you're going back to your conversations and saying, right guys, I've uploaded lots of interesting math things, add that to your conversation and share the link here. The pupils can go into that folder or that item, and they can easily, just pressing these 3 dots, they can download, they can copy the link to someone else, they can open in SharePoint so they don't even need to download it. It's up to them. If they open in SharePoint, it allows them to work on it and then save it straight there back into what you're doing. So there is a few other options other than opening in SharePoint, and we'll look at that a little bit more detailed in class notebook. The next part we would like to look at is assignments. This is probably one that you will use the most often because you can really add the details in for this. You can also add files and other items in. It's just loading now. We can see that circle turning. I've already added an assignment, so we'll look at that one first and then we can look at how to create one. So when I click on the assigned one, you can see that there is a reading assignment. It is due tomorrow. We can edit the assignment. We can also see the student's view. And we know that Josh has viewed it. He's not completed it just yet. Once he has, there's an option for feedback, so we can click on that and give him some feedback, and he can then return and do some more editing if required. So here we've got the one that I've uploaded already. It's the tiger who came to tea. There's a story link, so if you click on this link, it takes you straight to YouTube, and it's a story that I have already checked. If we click on the task map, it will be a Word document with lots of questions on it. And here we have some ideas that the pupils can work through. It's a little bit slow. We'll give it a moment to load. Now, as you can see that task mat loading, you can also see that it's loading like a Word document because the original is. So that child can go on there and start adding to it. They can start typing on it, or it can just be used as a questioning option, okay? So we're going to come out of that. We're just going to press close. But it's quite straightforward for any pupil to add on there. They don't need to have Word on their computer, although they can access that via Glow. All they need to do is open it via Teams. Once we close that and return to assignments, you can see that we have a few up and coming. So let's click Create and make our own. It can be an assignment or a quiz. I'm going to choose assignment. We're going to add in the title. So I think we'll do this one as maths. And we can do some problem solving. We don't need to add a category. That would be for later when we're using Notebook. But if you need any more tips with that one, just let me know and I can add another video. The instructions, you can be as detailed as you like here. I'm going to just say answer the questions on the sheet. And the resources at this point could be an activity sheet from your OneDrive. It can be something from your own documents. And it can also be a link. It might be something for Khan Academy. It might be a YouTube video so that they can watch it. And we can also at this point add a rubric. Now, if you've not used one before, that's absolutely fine. They're really straightforward. Again, we're just going to type in the title. Let's really do this quite quickly because I think we can all do this bit easily. Answer the questions. We're not going to add points. This part here is the marking criteria. Now, you don't have to have every single section. In fact, I'm going to delete all of these. And I'm just going to change that to success criteria. And we're going to have in here, we are learning to answer word problems. And maybe here we can say, I can multiply by 2. I can read the question carefully. I can underline any words I don't know, etc. So that that child has an idea of what they need to do to be successful. Then we've also got which class you assign that to. So if you're a member of a few different teams, you can assign that to a few. All students at this point, you may wish to send this only to a small group. Remember, we were talking about differentiation. This is the ideal opportunity for that. That assignment can simply go to one group. As you can see, it had a moment there, it needs to reload. We'll let that reload and it's back again. So at this point, you can also change the date and when it's due, but obviously there's going to be that flexibility. So we're just going to assign that just now. I've set that to everybody in my group because I didn't choose to assign it to individual pupils. And once that's assigned, it's actually going to show up in our posts. So we're going to change over now to posts and see, there we go, we've got that little notification as well. You can tell straight away what's been handed in and what's not been, and that will give you an opportunity to mark it. So we're going to go back to post just now so that we can see that that assignment has been notified in there too. Okay, so Mrs. Irvin's replied to me from earlier, but we also have the view assignment. So straight away, this is the viewpoint that pupils will have, and they'll be able to view it, they'll be able to read over it, and they can come back to you and ask some questions. Our next video will go into detail with Class Notebook, which will give you more opportunities to explore and discuss with pupils. But at the moment, once you've managed to use both those files and assignments, you'll see that Teams is really straightforward and a great way to communicate with lots of different pupils, but also upload materials.